Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hearts of Iron 3. We're back here for the release of their finest hour, which we will be playing another scenario, the Finnish Winter War. After signing of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, the occupation of the Baltic states and eastern Poland, the USSR turned their attention onto their tiny neighbor, Finland. Expecting another round of easy expansion, the Soviets were instead shocked when their armies initially proved woefully underprepared for battles with the dug-in Finnish troops. While the war may end in Russian victory, it will not be an easy fight. And that's the scenario. I get to fight the Soviet Union as Finland. Now, I think this is one of those there is no win scenario. There is just survive as long as physically possible scenarios. I suppose I should go over it. I get 1 victory point for controlling Vaipari, I believe it's called. Vaipari. And it, after, I think that's, May 1st of 1940. It's November 30th, 1939. And Leningrad is worth 2 victory points. What? What? I might not be able to take Leningrad because of that river. But, you know what I can take? That river. Okay, the HQ falls back. But... here's my thinking here. Look at the position of this river, and look how few Soviet troops are actually on the border. Like, there's something wrong there. Alright. Let's try and get we're gonna need probably all of our infantry. I want to try and hold the river then. Minor offensive, a little shock and awe. I think that might just be my best, way of doing things. Because it should be pretty hard for the Russians to fight me out over a river, because their tanks, which they have a fair number of, I assume. I actually haven't played the scenario before. Their tanks, I assume, the mountain troops will be useless there, will be significantly useless. I'm not too worried about the Russians attacking my ports, though, so... let's just bring them down to Vaipari. We'll sort that out later. I want to set up the garrisons here, so that way, if there is a fallback from the river, my army has a retreat point that is, relatively speaking, safe. I'll leave them there because I'm sure I'm going to have to fight the stuff here. Yeah. I'm not too worried about the Soviets, pulling any form of naval invasion. Yeah, I don't even have any transports. I just assume they don't have many, if any, transports either. Alright. So, you know what? This is the new battle plan. New plan. I guess I can use it to well illustrate my ideas. Because of how small this engagement is, it's going to be pretty obvious, actually, at what I'm trying to do. Wow, this arrow is very hard to draw. Selected object. Let's try that again. And... let's do that. And then... but a small border here. Alright, so that illustrates that I'm going to try and hold the river. Honestly, I think I'm probably just going to fall back and, like, just kind of give up the northern area. Probably fall back to good defensive points. There are... I don't know, delete that. I'm probably gonna... I don't know if I'll even hold that. Like, I think in a worst case scenario, I'm gonna kind of do that. You know? And hold this river as well. Like, I'll give up that land fort if I've got to. And I'll just fall back and hold that river. Let's take a look at the infrastructure map mode. And they can move through the northern parts. Albeit not very well. Yeah, they have a lot of routes they could go. That's gonna be rough. Whoops. Delete. The Finnish did not have any historical plans. Good to know. Let's delete that one. Oh, can't seem to click on borders. Click on an object to select it. Come on, why don't you work? Alright, there we are. And boom. Okay, so I have no idea what I'm going to do here, but the point is I'm going to try for a shock and awe attempt at an offensive, because I know the Soviets are disorganized at the start of this war. They have to be, otherwise they would just steamroll right through me. I need to have some kind of advantage. If I push the advantage early before they get a chance to regroup, I assume it's their officer ratio. Can't be sure, but this gives me a whole nother defense point here that I can use instead of just these forts. Because realistically, I would probably just fall back to the forts. And then eventually lose the land forts. I don't have production capabilities, I'm afraid. But I can still actually build land forts. As such, I am going to do that. I will... I'm not going to get too off by the end of the scenario. But if I buy time to get another land fort level, then that should be good too. And I have a whole interceptor to myself. Lovely. So that's going to be useless overall. Because the Soviets are probably going to outnumber my interceptors, and it would just be better to keep it down. So I have to be careful of their bombers wrecking me. Alright. Okay. So that's the plan. Well, I guess there's nothing to say, but let's go. Egg. If they make it there before I do, that's troublesome. But yeah, the Soviets are just getting completely steamrolled there. Forces are under attack. Excellent. We actually made it there first. That's perfect. Yeah, they have no organization. Counters shock. Alright, the new tactics are actually interesting. Each one kind of has like a counter tactic. They're trying to ambush me. Assault and defend. Okay, so I'm using a tactic now. They've decided to opt out of using a tactic, apparently. Control, right click, support the attack. Boom. Alright, the point of doing that was just to make sure that they break through to the river. We're going to need all of them through as quickly as possible. The garrisons are going to the forts. Soviets are bringing a death stack on there. That's going to be, I think, an impossible hold. Ugh. But the point is, I did get the river. Getting the river here is going to make my life a little easier, I think. Yeah, I figured. Well, I don't know what happened to their death stack, but it's gonna be pretty rough attacking into it. Alright, so their HQs flee all over the damn place. They only have some infantry in Leningrad. I figured they'd have tanks. You know? That's generally what they had in Leningrad. Alright, so I don't suppose I'd be able to, would I? There's no way that would work. It might. No way. What? 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 Alright, one guy stay back. Actually, no, you go with them anyway. Yeah, one guy stays back there, that's fine. What? There's no way we can actually have taken Leningrad, right? Alright. Victory conditions. We now have 2 out of 3. So that just literally means I have to hold on for another 5 months. Okay. Send some troops to them. They'll need it more. As well, you go that way. Leningrad may not have the defensive position, but 15 troops should be enough. If not, I suppose I can send more. But really, I took them? I took Leningrad like this? I know the Soviets are, you know, kind of shock and, like, kind of disorganized, but I didn't think my shock and awe tactic would take me to Leningrad. I figured I could get the river and no more. And while the river proved easy, and Leningrad proved a little harder than that. Okay, we're gonna put you there. I'd prefer to have them as a form of reinforcement for whichever place is attacked and needs it. So yeah, it's February. I'm obviously not going to push any further because I don't need to. With the control of Leningrad, that's fine. That's all I needed, actually. I just have to hold out, I guess. And I don't have anything to do until the Russians begin their offensive. Which is going to involve me swapping troops around, cycling them, and, you know, generally. Besides, in a worst case scenario, we still have land forts to fall back to. Those are being built. So it's March. I need to hold out for 2 months. What is this? I guess I do genuinely outnumber the Russians a fair bit. And it is pretty tricky here. They probably are going to be bringing down troops from around here. We saw an entire death stack of them. Geez. It's March. So that means just April, and then May 1st, and then I win, right? Wow. This is rather uneventful and unexciting. I was kind of hoping for something more. I mean, I've basically come here and tipped a giant Russian cow. That's literally how easy this was. And April 29th, April 30th. Let's slow it down so we can win at a slightly slower speed. And victory. Our victory over the Russian forces has once again defeated their imperialist advances towards our fair nation. Yes. What? Okay. I apologize for the lack of action in this episode. Yeah. I honestly was kind of hoping for something a little more combat-oriented. I didn't think I'd be able to take Leningrad. I mean, I guess by, like, 1940, and by the time I have to hold Viipuri, that's when the Russians are probably reorganized. So if you just go on a full-out offensive before then, you have a massive advantage. Like, if they had pushed in the north, my goal would have been mostly just slowly trying to fall back and hold them back from Vipery. Like, they could have taken the entire northern half of the nation for all I care. But, like, just holding the little rivers around it. Holding on for as long as I could. But yeah, that's that. I just took Leningrad. Yeah, it's kinda sad, actually. I don't know what else to say. Other than, thanks for watching, guys. This is Calvin signing off.